Yeah, I got a 30 out of 41.
It's for an intro theater class. My name is Damon Luton.
My name is Jabro Chin, and we went to go see The Harriet by Eugene O'Neill, directed by Dan Shanahan at the Torn Space Theater.
And we have 6 prompts to talk about. And the first prompt involves the 5 main plots to deal with the play, which is plot, theme, diction, music, and spectacle. The plot itself varies from place to place, but mainly in the Harriet, it is mainly on a cruise ship, and another plot is where they're mainly in New York, which is where Yank, the other crew members, Holder Douglas, Long, and Mildred out.
Yeah,
They
73.
for several lengths of the show, both in New York and on the ship. The theme of the Harriet is that people feel as if they can't fulfill their own individual needs or solve their own problems. And an example is by Yank himself being unable to find any type of belonging in any social group or environment. The diction of the Harriet was spoken with accents and slurs that made it seem as if they were from some part in London or Britain. And the music itself was sad and solemn, as if to add an emphasis on Yank's issues. And throughout the play, it actually put more of an emphasis on his character itself. And the spectacle itself was peculiar in a way because it would shift from being on a boat to New York itself, and in a confined room and at a zoo. And for some of the props for it were ladders and steps and steel bars for the ship. And prompt 2.
Prompt 2 was a sequence of the play, starting with the exposition when Yank and the crew workers were working on this cruise ship, headed to New York from London with Mildred Douglas and her on board, always arguing. The conflict was when Mildred told Yank that he looked like a Harriet, which took to offense and tried to attack her, but the other crew members held him back. And the climax was when Yank tried to attack O'Neill and was apprehended and thrown in jail as a result of his actions. The denouement was when Yank went to the zoo and tried to talk to the ape, was crushed and pummeled by the ape to death upon him releasing it from its cage.
That prompt 3 is the intended genre, and the Harriet 8, the intended genre was originally comedy, but during the play it became suspenseful and conflicting, which caused it to bridge genres between comedy and action. And the main reason for this is because of Yank himself having his burst of outrage, or him trying to attack Mildred, and eventually at him himself being killed by Ape at the end.
The next prompt in the play, The Harriet, the gravity, means the central theme being serious and of the lasting significance to the play and the Harriet. There are 2 examples of the theme being serious and of the lasting significance. The first example was when Mildred called Yank a Harriet because of how aggressive, mean, and rude he was acting. The second example was when Yank was killed at the end by thinking he could be friends with the ape, but instead was killed by the ape, which is the lasting significance that sticks with the audience. The next prompt was the actor.
And one of the actors we chose was Patrick Montaigne, and he actually did a good job of portraying the character Link. And as he did, he really captured the character Link himself. Alright, well, my fault, that was a typo. Actually, Yank, Patrick Montaigne learned to harness Yank's tone to actually make himself the actor, not the character, seem as if he was the angry actor. And during the play, his movements actually showed that he himself was a very angry person. He was either stiff and really slow with his movements, or he would be really fast and swift at moments, depending on, I guess you say, how his mood was. And by basically portraying the character as a whole, he kept the crowd on the beat and made them want to wait and see what happens next.
The next prompt was the designer. The play made it seem as if they had limited resources because there were not a lot of objects except for the main ones in the play. They were mainly metal frames, plates, bars, and window frames. Whenever the scene would change, there would be shades that they would put in different positions in order to give off the reflection of the image of the city and the ocean from when they were on the ship. This tell a story. While getting people intrigued into what the story was about, even though there were minimal objects that were used, there was still a story to be told, which